Hi, it's Noel Williams, Optimal Health Associates, November 6, 2023. We're going to go over a few things tonight, not anything very long. The COVID update is, I think, not much. COVID is continuing. There's not really any changes. I think we have to focus on our immune systems. And if you look at what's going on kind of with just viruses in general, you have flu, you have RSV, which is more germane to younger people, but it's about immune support. It's about immune support. It's about immune support. There is no vaccinating our way out of this. Everyone's been vaccinated who's going to get vaccinated, and everyone who hasn't been vaccinated has already been infected. And we've seen lots of people in both groups get infected again, maybe, and I'm not going to say if it's more one than the other, but it's clear that Omicron can continue to break through. There's no data supporting that the Omicron variant booster has any benefit. There may be some benefit. We'll have to see. Two preliminary trials that are not peer-reviewed but have been noted at the FDA level showed really no benefit. There was no human trials on the booster, so we'll have to see. We do know that the vaccine has some risks, so I would wait for the better data to see what goes on before I just hopped on that bandwagon, but that's my opinion. I would like a double-blinded randomized controlled trial, but specifically we're not going to do those anymore because we don't want that kind of data. So what we have to do is take care of ourselves. Being outside is better than taking vitamin D. I still think vitamin D is great, but remember, exercise, vitamin D, sunlight, healthy diet, a little bit of a multi, some fish oil, all the things we've gone over, very, very important for immune support. So that way you don't get that sick if you get the flu. Also, if you get influenza, there's Zofluenza, or Zofluza, sorry, the name of the medicine. It works awesome. So you have a backup plan if you get the flu. There is not any FDA approved, well, there is Paxlovid, which doesn't really work for Omicron, but there isn't still a true treatment for COVID infections other than supportive care. So that's where we are with that. So that's it on COVID. It's just going to be here. It may go up a little bit during the winter months. It may go down. We'll just see. There's going to be a million variants, and it's just something we're going to have to live with. Now we're going to move on to something that's a little more of a difficult subject for some people, but it's women's reproductive rights. As a gynecologist, it's really important to me that women are allowed to have their own reproductive rights. I don't think anyone should tell someone what they have to do. But that's, again, being a true conservative libertarian. We shouldn't interfere with each other's lives unless it directly affects us. And there's religious and all this other stuff. But the bottom line is this. The state of Oklahoma has the most restrictive abortion law, essentially, in the United States. There is some clarifications in it, though, that I do want to put to bed a little bit. That, no, if you're having a miscarriage, you have an ectopic pregnancy, you can get all the care you need. It's written into the law. Now, the problem becomes if you're in an in-between state, but most of the time when you're a gynecologist, you can tell who needs what, and it's not a problem. The issue is, though, this. We've had 2 pregnancies with IUDs since the law got passed that were intrauterine pregnancies. Now, it's kind of ironic. We hadn't had someone get pregnant on an IUD probably in 15 years in the practice, and then the law comes into effect at the end of June, July, whatever it was, and we've had 2 since. So what you do when you have an intrauterine pregnancy and an IUD in place is you want to get the IUD taken out right away, because that lowers the overall rate of miscarriage. Leaving the IUD in increases the risk for miscarriage. But if we pull the IUD out and then the girl miscarries, that would be murder. So what do we do then? And so that's directly affecting the care. So the law has unintended consequences to increase the risk of miscarriage in the intrauterine pregnancies because we can't take the IUDs out. And this is real life. This is what we've been stuck with. We sent them to the high-risk pregnancy specialists who basically said, well, we can't do anything either. So now we just have 2 pregnancies ongoing with IUDs in the uterus. So then they'll go on to OBs for care because we just do GYN. But again, that's the problem with these laws, and it's going to kill our in vitro programs in the state, and it's just going to really, really hurt women's health care. So you have to be aware of that as you go to the ballot box. And I think at the very least, when you look at the prosecutor for Oklahoma County, Vicki Behennen, who I've known for a long time, she's very strong on women's rights. And I normally wouldn't say, I'm not going to talk about any other positions except that one, but she is very, very strong on women's rights. I've known her a long time. She's a very good person. It's nothing negative about the person running on the other side, but Vicki Behennen is very strong on women's rights and has made that promise, and I believe her. So I think we have a good women's rights prosecutor in Oklahoma County. So enough of that. Third thing on COVID, or third topic, there you may see some information that COVID is associated with 30,000 excess cardiac deaths in England. There's some reports of that. That is totally untrue. This is where fake news happens. Now, do I think there's some risk for cardiovascular events from the COVID vaccine? Absolutely. But we need actual proof for that, not just a article that's been misquoted. And so what the article was about was the British Heart Association. There has been an excess of about 30,000 cardiac deaths in England over the last 2 years, but it's from delay in care. It used to be 18 minutes for EMT or EMS to get to a house in Britain on a heart attack call. Now it's over 45. The delay to see a cardiologist is months and months and months. And so that's what's contributing to the deaths. It is not a COVID vaccine related issue whatsoever. There's no data, and some people are on the internet saying that it is. That is totally incorrect. If you hear that, it is a delay in access, and that's what happens with the national healthcare system, which is why we don't want one in the United States, in my opinion, because we have, like you're in Oklahoma, we have the Heart Hospital by Mercy, we have the Heart Hospital South, we have the Heart Hospital in Integris, we have OU's heart people. We have great cardiac care here, some of the best in the nation. We don't want that to change. And so we want to try to keep the strengths of the U.S. health system, which is we can get people in when they have a serious cardiac event very, very quickly. And when you see what's happening in England, that's not happening anymore. So that is a bummer. So those are all the big topics. Saw David Sedaris this afternoon at Rose State in Midwest City. Hilarious author and satirist. Thanks, Kim, very much for getting those tickets. That was a positive after the OSU and OU games. So I think football's over for the year now in Oklahoma, but we'll see. And that's really about it. Any questions or comments I need to answer? No? So that's it. Get out and vote on Tuesday. Be kind to your neighbors. Be respectful to everyone on how they vote. And take care.